It's not lost on us that some of you may be cruising around with your day, and you're like, so what is it that Draymond said? Patrick Beverly Podcast. Here we go.
I don't just hit people. I've been in this league 11 years. I ain't just hit nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and so dialogue, you know, happens, and dialogue happens over the course of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you usually ain't just triggered by something like that fast to that degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a team. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody on my team triggering me in an instant. You know, and so dialogue, of course, happens over time. And, you know, like I said, Cam's stuff wasn't accurate, but, you know, we know stuff that you don't say amongst men. You know what I'm saying? We know things that you have to stand on. And as I've admitted before, I was wrong in the way I handled it for the situation where we were. But, you know, I'm a man at the end of the day. I stand on business.
You know, I know what sort of stands out to people, I think, which is it's hard to hear Draymond Green talk about the things that you're not supposed to say because he says everything.
But I don't know if he's saying there's the thing that he's referring to, which is the B word. Yeah, okay. There are things you don't say, like, you know, for white guys. There's things that we can't say that other people can say. There's things that we don't say that they can say. As a man, you don't call another man the B word. And
so I'm going to believe that Draymond's never done that. He has never, ever, ever used that word in the presence of another man.
That I can't speak to.
I have a hard time buying that.
I do too. What he's saying to Patrick Beverly, is that at least he's intimating that Jordan Poole called him that, and that's basically why he got popped. And of course, anybody who calls anybody that, you get hit.
Do we not have it on authority that he said that to Kevin Durant? I think he called Kevin Durant that. Did he not?
On the floor?
I have no idea where they were standing. But, like, again, Draymond Green, I think what really cuts to the core of people who have followed his career is he gets mad at people for doing exactly what he does. We have a word for that. It's called hypocrite. But there's another word for it sometimes. Genius. Draymond Green's a performer. He's an entertainer. He has built a fortune out of doing this. Some would say, I mean, the greatest 9-figure contract ever. How many people can have multiple $100 million contracts and a future career in broadcasting unlike any other, scoring 8 points a game?
Triple single. And last contract.
Who does this?
His last contract technically was $99 million, but I'm not going to correct you because you're on a roll.
$99 million and ain't one.
Yeah, look at you. It's fantastic. And what his act has done for his second career is really the remarkable part of it, because on the floor, if he didn't have Steph Curry, he's not getting a $100 million contract.
Of course not.
If he was on the Charlotte Hornets, if he was a Hornets and he's averaging triple singles, he's probably not even getting he's a vet min guy.
Yeah, well, not a vet min guy. Maybe at
he's
this
a mid-level.
Point. Yeah, this is like, look, I don't want this to turn into diminishing. Like, I did hear this, a couple callers earlier today. I was listening to the station a lot. A couple people say, oh, gosh, you mean to tell me that the Warriors wouldn't have won the title when Durant was here if they didn't have Draymond? We've always overrated Draymond. My opinion, I'm going to stop short of that. I'm not going to use this to diminish Draymond, the basketball player, and the role that he has played in this dynasty. I find it to be vital. I find every Warrior who matters to echo that sentiment. So it's not going to diminish that. But if he nauseates the hell out of you off the court, yeah, I get it. But I also do think it's crazy like a fox. Okay, he knows what he's doing. He's very, very good at this.
Think about Dennis Rodman.
Yep.
And, does Jordan win the last 3 without Dennis Rodman? Maybe, but probably not because of what he provided. And remember when he kicked the cameraman in the junk and, he skipped out on a practice to go to Vegas and he was photographed in full makeup and a wedding dress. And, his act was different than Draymond. Yep. Draymond's act is straight up bully in the Webster's dictionary. Rodman was kind of off the reservation.
This stuff is valued, though, in professional sports. We all sat here 3 weeks ago and went, well, that's the end of Dylan Brooks. and the Rockets were like, how about 4 years and $80 million? Can you come do that for us, please? Will you come instigate and tick everybody off and get them off of their game and kick cameramen and yell at reporters and call LeBron old? That'd be awesome. We'll give you $20 million a year guaranteed.
Who did Draymond just appear with? Another guy cut from that same cloth. Yeah. Patrick Beverley.
Made a great career out of it.
Yeah, he made his bones basically being an instigator and a cheap shot artist and all the rest of it.
So do you accept him or not is the question. I mean, I think you've already answered it. You don't.
I don't accept him. And it's a split situation because what you said about his vital role on the basketball team, absolutely. And probably now as much as, or if not more than ever, because of what he provides in terms of basketball IQ, defensive malleability. Steph Curry doesn't really get the same open shots without Draymond knowing how to get Steph the ball. So Draymond for 48 minutes, absolutely, I accept him because he's a basketball maestro. But for the other 23 hours and 12 minutes of the day, I can't stand him.
Yeah, but you sort of got to pick. You can't pull apart the minutes of the day. You know what I mean?
Well, I have to.
Well,
I have to because I've been a Warrior. I've been a Warrior fan since before he was born.
So you mean you have to accept him?
I have to accept him.
Yeah, that's kind of how.
My love of the Golden State Warriors is stronger than my, and I won't say hate because I'm not going to waste a second of my day hating Draymond Green.
Distaste.
Sure, dislike all the disses. You could pick a diss. And I've got it.
Distract. You got to distract.
Distrust.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Distaste. Dislike. Disgust. Yes. But at the end of all of the disses, and I put that on one side of the balance, and then I put on the other side of the balance how much I love the Golden State Warriors, because we've talked about this. Yep. The only team that I really, really am a fan of is that team. I love the Giants. I'm a Giants fan, and I root for the 49ers. But the Warriors, I have a special place in my heart, and I've loved them longer than Draymond's been on this earth. So my love for the Warriors outweighs all of the disses that I have for Draymond.
So let's discuss this whole thing. 888-957-9570. I kind of messed up the execution, but anyway.
No, I liked it.
One of Jordan Poole's very close friends has let loose a statement on Instagram, and we'll read that to you here in just a couple minutes, but we really want to get all of you involved. I think this is kind of what today comes down to. Do you accept Draymond Green or not? 888-957-9570. How about McManimal in Fairfield? On with Willard and Dibs. Hey, McManimal, what are you doing?
Hey, guys. How you doing? Thanks for having me on. I listen every day. Don't miss it. As far as the question, do you accept Draymond or not? Absolutely accept him. It's important to have people like that in your corner. Now, let's not pretend for one moment that Jordan Poole didn't understand or realize the type of character Draymond is. And he chose to push that line. He pushed that envelope. And Draymond pushed that button back. You know, we can be friends tomorrow, but right now we got to fight. And how you handle that situation says a lot about a person. All the players on the team talking about maturity level and whatnot, Poole could not get over it. And that is a maturity level that, when you're going to be running your mouth like that, then you need to be able to get over it if somebody's going to, pull your card.
I mean, it's interesting. Yeah, thank you for the call. I'm probably at the forefront of our group here at 95.7 The Game of saying, look, I think Jordan Poole did a lot. It was my guess over a year and a half time to upset the standard-bearing players with the Golden State Warriors. So I think that he has earned a lot of what he got, and when I say that, I mean in terms of his departure, not the punch. But I think it's also impossible to look at this and pick one side. Oh, Jordan's at fault, Draymond's at fault. Today, for me, you're all at fault. You're all at fault. This is why it's so hard today, probably the hardest day in the last 10 years, to root for the Warriors. Their likability is at its lowest point in the last 10 years. Because who on earth out of everybody is behaving not like a child? Who is not behaving like a kid right now?
Kevon Looney.
Okay, good answer.
Somewhere,
it's a good answer.
Somewhere Kevon is raking leaves off a street because, darn it, they've been there for too long, and he wants to just clean up the neighborhood.
Yep, that's a good point. I mean, and you know what I mean. The collective. I'm sure that Steve Kerr is not somewhere playing sorry right now. Like, I'm sure, although I played sorry the other night, I got a 9-year-old at home. So I'm not saying that everyone's acting like a kid the whole time, but if you take this whole picture over the last year and a half, who has responded with maturity? Kevon is a great answer, but Steph Curry even spending all this time the last 2 weeks going, we're so much more mature now. We're so much more mature now. Are you? Are you? You coaching is not a good way to start when supposedly your arrival means, oh, we're mature now. Draymond with Patrick Beverley with a Jordan Poole character assassination on his way out the door. That's not mature. The Warriors do not feel mature to me right now. They feel like a train without its tracks for the first time in a decade.
Well, they're the petty kings. Steph Curry told you that, and there's not much more petty than going on a podcast and telling the world why you knocked a teammate out, and basically I stand on it and all the rest of it, and then you get into a Twitter beef with the guy's father, and then you respond to a fake Kevin Garnett account because you're so hell-bent on winning again. Draymond, you already won, okay? You punched a guy in the face, and you didn't want him on your team anymore, and he's not on your team anymore. Can't you let it go? But the answer, of course, is no.
Nope.
And I'll say this, Mark. If you tell me that the Warriors won't win a championship in the next 4 years, then I would love to see Draymond Green traded. Because if you're not going to win anyway, then get him out of here.
Yeah, but there's no way to know that.
Right?
They certainly, and they said this directly.
They think that they have a better chance with him here.
No, they think they have no chance without him.
Right.
No chance.
Well, there are people who think that they have no chance with him. And that, I don't think those people are inside the building at 99 Warriors Way.
I mean, it's easy to think the Warriors are done winning, and maybe they are, but I don't think anybody would have the opinion that they would have a better chance of winning without him.
That depends who you'd get for him. And I know you can't trade him till January because he just recently signed. But, the more I think about what you said at the top of the show in the crossover, how it's getting harder, or it's harder than ever to root for this team, you're absolutely right. And it's because of Draymond Green.
So check this out. Let's go back to Jordan's rookie year, because the stories have been that Draymond was actually he was the guy that Jordan looked up to. That was his guy. That was his guidance counselor. And obviously somewhere it went wrong. The fact that Jordan Poole chirps and is confident and trash talks. Well, when he was a rookie, Draymond loved that.
But he don't stop talking. He does not stop, which is funny to me. So I see people get pissed off in practice. Like, oh, man, he a rookie. I've heard a few people say, he a rookie, he never shut up. And I just be sitting there like, good job, young fella. You got him mad. They don't like you talk. I remember being that rookie that wouldn't shut up, and everybody hated it. So, doing something right, young fella. Keep going. I just walk away smiling. It's great.
It's great. It's exactly who he asked Jordan to be until it was directed at him.
Right. And it's remarkable when you hear that from Jordan Poole's rookie year and the pride in Draymond's voice at the young fella. Keep it up, young fella. You're getting to him.
He was under his wing. So this is from a guy named Raylan Lamar. Apparently is very, very tight with Jordan Poole and has just put this out on Instagram. It's a statement that is posted over the backdrop of that video that the sound of that video that we just played. Okay, Draymond Green saying, keep going, young fella. You keep talking. You keep making everybody mad.
You're getting to him.
I smile. That's exactly what you should do. So Raylan posted this statement. He literally took us under his wing because of the Midwest connection and was over at his house during the pandemic all the time. He supposedly called himself our OG and leader. You can see how proud he was in this video. But what changed? A lot of y'all hoop. How many times at practice you swung on your little homie like that? To be honest, We've been handling this way more player and mature than Draymond Green has. You're a legend that can tone this type of energy of talking bleep in this literal video, but definitely had a moment of inexcusable failure of leadership as a brother and a teammate, which was his best quality. Where's your leader when you need them? We rocked with you a lot, which is why it's always been weird that you would have such bad energy this way. It's never made sense on this side. That's from Jordan Poole's very, very close friend.
Yeah, it got to a point where something flipped it for Draymond Green, because Draymond Green, Mark, has used that B word before. And this is back in 2018, where he repeatedly called Kevin Durant a B, reportedly, during a verbal heated exchange in Los Angeles, and he was suspended. The Warriors suspended Draymond Green for one game. He will sit out on the Saturday night game against the Hawks at Oracle Arena because he used the B word, and then he punches Jordan Poole, and he receives 0 games in terms of a suspension. But from Raylan Lamar on Instagram, what did change? Jordan Poole has been talking since his rookie year. And Draymond said in that video, the clip you just played, how proud he was of the young S talker. And so what happened? Now, 5 years later, he's talking so much S for so long that finally it gets to you. And finally, because he used the B word, your word, now you're going to punch him? What a fraud. What a bully.
Who knows what got
phony.
it there? Because, by the way, that's something that if you had said, okay, Jordan gets under everyone's skin, and Draymond usually likes it, but whatever, the scale's tipped, right? You're in a bad mood, you're having a horrible day, or your team is losing. Oh, see, you're on a 6-game roadie, and your team is 17-30, and the wheels of the dynasty are completely falling off. This was camp after a ring. This was camp after a ring.
Man, camp after a ring.
They were the champs. They were literally sitting on the top of the mountain when this happened. So I can't speak to what it was. You know my opinion. There's too many people who were furious with Jordan Poole to think that there is not some fault that lies there. But to Raylan Lamar's point, this doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. And it does. It reeks of hypocrisy. You don't say that to another man, well, unless I'm saying it to you.
Unless I'm saying it to Kevin Durant,
right.
Which ultimately leads for him to leave the team.
It's got all the energy of that old commercial where the dad gets mad at the kid because he finds the weed in the drawer, and he keeps screaming at, why do you have this? Who taught you to do this? And the kid finally snaps and goes, I learned it by watching you, Dad. This is the
classic 70s commercial.
It's a classic parent, do as I say and not as I do. It appears that Jordan Poole only did all of the things that Draymond has always done. In fact, if you start to put puzzle pieces together, I think I could make the case that Jordan acts this way because you were his mentor.
I learned it from you, Day-Day.
Draymond?
Totally. And
so
you know what
why did he tick you off? Because he's been watching you.
But you know what finally tipped the scales? And the news comes out about 3 days later, Jordan Poole gets that bag. And so I believe that in that moment, the word internally was already out. Jordan's getting the bag.
Sure.
Jordan Poole's about to make more money than you, Draymond.
He knew that at the championship celebration.
But I think when you get into
we're
camp,
going to get a bag.
But you get to October, and now you're in camp after the chip, camp after chip, and now here you are, and Jordan Poole's walking around, and the word is he's getting the bag. I mean, the ink is almost dry on this deal, and I'm gonna make more than you, Draymond. You want me to hold? Want to hold about $20, Draymond? Let me buy you an iced coffee, Draymond.
I mean, it's funny because Draymond had made plenty.
But in that moment,
I don't think it matters that Jordan got it. It probably matters if Jordan was out trumpeting it. And I do, when Draymond go to that original statement, when he talks about this is not going to happen on my team, Draymond views the Warriors as his team. He views himself as the leader. He is the vocal spokesman. he views this as his thing. And I think he felt it was being attacked from within. I'm not saying that's accurate. I'm not saying that's fair. But if you look around the room, if you're Draymond and Steph's upset and Steve Kerr's upset and Klay Thompson's upset, Bob Myers is talking about leaving, and that's your guy. If that's all happening around you and you blame Jordan Poole for it,
yeah,
then sure, there can be some things that get said that trigger the living heck out of you.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened.
And so you knock him out. Attaboy, Draymond.
Yeah, exactly.
And then now 8 months later, or however long it's been, October to July, it's been 9 months, and now you go ahead and run your mouth again because it's what you do when you're a bully. You pick on the weak.